Hello students, today we will talk about non-aqueous solvents. Firstly, we should know that what are solvents. So solvent is a substance which can dissolve number of substances and facilitate the occurring of reactions and separates the product also. So I think now the term solvent is clear. Second term is non-aqueous. What do you mean by non-aqueous? Aqueous solvent means when water acts as a solvent. Then, what do you mean by non-aqueous solvent? Non-aqueous solvent is a substance which is other than water used to dissolve substances. So the definition is the solvents other than water which are used for carrying out chemical reactions are called as non-aqueous solvents. They said the organic chemists have been used many solvents such as benzene, carbon tetrachloride, acetone, ether, etc. for dissolving organic compounds which are insoluble in water. Now there are many other solvents available, for example, liquid ammonia, sulfuric acid, liquid HF, liquid sulfur dioxide, which have been frequently used. And we will study briefly. Next topic is physical properties of solvents and their role in chemical reactions. The first property is melting point and boiling point, that is called liquid range. We know that every substance has a melting and boiling point, and between the melting and boiling point where the substance act as a liquid, we call the liquid range. These are the melting and boiling points of a solvent determine the temperature range within which the solvent can exist in the liquid state under atmospheric pressure. So most of the reactions in a solvent system are carried out in liquid phase. So the melting and boiling point give the temperature range within which the solvent is useful. In this table, there are many different solvents and their melting and boiling points. First is water. The melting and boiling point of water is melting point is 0 degrees Celsius and boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. So we said that the water has an excellent liquid range from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius at ordinary temperature and pressure. So water behave as a good solvent. Next is ammonia, HF and SO2. Their melting and boiling point range in negative. So the reactions carried out at low temperatures when we take ammonia, SO2, HF as a solvent. Next is acetic acid, DMF. Their melting and boiling point range are like 16.6 to 118.1, DMF minus 16.1.0 degrees Celsius to 153.0 degrees Celsius. So acetic acid also act as a solvent at ordinary temperatures. And sulfuric acid, their temperature range is 10 degrees Celsius to 300 degrees Celsius. So sulfuric acid we used at higher temperatures. So reactions carried out in sulfuric acid at high temperature. Second is heat of fusion and heat of vaporization. First we have to know that what is heat of fusion, what is heat of vaporization. So the amount of heat absorbed by 1 mole of substance to change from solid to liquid state is called the molar heat of fusion. Similarly, the heat absorbed by 1 mole of substance to change from liquid to vapor state is called molar heat of vaporization. They said larger the value of heat of fusion or heat of vaporization, stronger are the intermolecular binding forces in the solid or liquid. Therefore, the magnitude of molar heat of fusion and molar heat of vaporization gives us some insight into the nature and strength of forces and determine the solvent properties. Intermolecular forces in a solvent is obtained by the ratio of molar heat of vaporization to the boiling point. This ratio is called a Troughton constant, that is equal to delta H vaporization upon T. So, these are the molar heat of vaporization are expressed in calories and boiling point in absolute scale. Then the Troughton constant has the value 21.5. Such liquid exist as independent molecules without any bonds between them. Higher value of Troughton constant indicates that associated molecules, for example, like water, ammonia, hydrogen fluoride, have Troughton constant value greater than 21.5, and therefore they are associated liquids. The molecules of these liquids are polar, and the association of polar molecules is due to the tendency to orient themselves so that oppositely charged ends of the molecules come near to each other. Third characteristic is dielectric. We measure the polar nature of the solvent, and it also helps to estimate the solubility of polar or non-polar substances in the solvent. We know that according to Coulomb's law, the forces of attraction between two charged ions is equal to Q1 Q2 upon epsilon naught R square. We know that Q positive or Q negative are the charges of the cation and anion. R is the distance between them. If the dielectric constant epsilon is constant, called dielectric constant, if dielectric constant is large, then force will be small because they are inversely proportional. So as a result, only small amount of energy will be required to separate the ions. So it will be easy to dissolve ionic substances. Thus, in solvents of high dielectric constant, ionic substances will dissolve readily. Like water has a dielectric constant high, so it behaves as a good solvent, easily dissolve ionic substances. And ammonia and SO2 has the small value of dielectric constant, so their little tendency to dissolve ionic substances. Next is dipole moment. The dipole moment is related to the dielectric constant of the solvent. They said an ionizing solvent has large dipole moment and also has a large dielectric constant. Basically, it is related to the polarity of the bond. Greater the polarity of the bond in the molecule, large is its dipole moment. So solvents having dipole moment high have greater tendency to dissolve polar or ionic substances. Fifth is viscosity. Viscosity is a measure of fluidity of the solvent. Solvents like water, ethyl alcohol, carbon tetrachloride have low viscosities and highly fluid. On the other hand, anhydrous sulfuric acid and high molecular weight hydrocarbons have high viscosities and flow at much lower rates at ordinary conditions. So the solvents which has low viscosities, the operations like precipitation, crystallization, filtration can be easily carried out without any difficulty. And with increasing the viscosity of the liquid, these operations must be difficult. So these are the characteristics of non-aqueous solvents.